happy birthday to the coolest jet in the history of all the jets. And what better way to celebrate it, honestly, than this awesome video?
This is pretty wild.
We're just going to show Viper videos, and then I'm going to reminisce about the world's greatest aircraft. But check this out. This is in Denmark. I thought those were great.
Vipers like fireflies.
Don't worry. It's the sound of freedom, and your hearing will improve at the hearing.
Dude, I want to be a Denmark Viper pilot. Dude.
If they keep doing that, they might be looking for something.
Well, I think this was I don't know the context. I just saw that and I was like,
that's amazing.
Cool. But
it's probably DCS.
No, man, of course not.
I don't know, man. That looked pretty real to me.
I just want to point out as well.
DCS is real.
DCS is real. Not Israel. Is real.
Well, I mean, they have DCS too, I'm assuming.
Okay. I just want to point this out here. The U.S. Air Force, because even to this day, people still get mad at me. Continuing the celebration for the anniversary of the F-16's first flight. 50 looks good on you. Viper 50. Okay. And then Edwards Air Force Base, on behalf of Viper 50, we proudly present 2 new heritage tales. I'm going to mute this so you can see it, or so you can hear it. Can't hear it, but we'll see it. They're having a fly-in this week of all the Vipers. And it's the 50, but they put a Fighting Falcon on there, so that's not helping my case. It's the anniversary of the accidental flight, because as many of you might know, they didn't really mean to fly it that day. It just kind of happened. But like many accidents, it turned out to be a good thing in the end. A lot of families are started that way. And that's the Viper. So one more. I got one.
When was its second flight?
I nobody cares. It's always about the first one.
I think it's wild, man, that basically all the 4th gen airplanes are 50 years old. So it's crazy to me to think that modern fighters are a half a century
That's
old.
because you are also old.
I'm approaching a half a century myself.
10 years older than me. Actually, it's 9 years now because I'm about to be 41.
Hey, is this that picture of him buzzing the yacht from a different angle?
Yes, it's a different angle of the yacht video.
Oh.
So let us watch this.
Wow.
Dude. This is his wingman, which is good. You stack no lower than lead. There's the boat.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's totally fine. I don't know why he's so high.
Oh, look at that. Dude, he got a little bit of, did he get the trails off the?
Yeah.
Yeah. He got the trails there. So happy birthday to the world's greatest jet. I mean, 9 Gs over Mach 2.
Configured properly.
Of course.
It's
cool.
Single seat, multi-role.
Yeah.
What else
Cheap.
do you want?
I'm sorry, affordable.
Well, there's been, I think it was like 4,500. I don't know. I read the number and now I forgot it, but there's a bunch of them out there, all the way from, the early blocks to Block 70, which is now what all the nerds call the Viper, even though they're all Vipers. And the reason they were called the Viper was because when it first came out, Battlestar Galactica, be a nerdy thing, I don't know. They had a fighter that was called the Viper, and it looked like the F-16. And they were like, we don't want to be called the Fighting Falcon. We want to be the Viper. It's just like the A-10 is the Warthog, even though it's a Thunderbolt 2. The Rhino, people come up with nicknames all the time that have nothing to do with it.
Was it the Panther? Nobody calls F-35. Is it F-35?
Fat Amy.
Yeah, I know. But that's its real name. But what's the official name?
The Lightning 2.
Yeah, nobody calls it the Lightning 2.
It can't even fly around Lightning. Why would it be called the Lightning 2?
Also,
I mean-
no sequel's ever as good, right?
No,
So
exactly.
Why would you say the Lightning II? Like, we've
That's
just
right.
run
Yeah.
out of names of
So-
aircraft.
Yeah.
So I will say, having flown that jet, I miss it a lot. I flew it, you always remember your first love. The cool thing about the airplane, it's like an Iron Man suit. You get in, not a lot of room, but it fits comfortably. It's got unlimited visibility. I mean, you feel like you're sitting on top of the world, kind of a magic carpet. There's no canopy bow. So, your frame of reference is just, you're sitting on the nose of a bullet, and you go out there and rage, and it's a lot of fun. It will hurt you. It has killed a lot of people because of its performance, because it's a 9G jet, because the onset rate is high, because it can sustain 9Gs. I flew it before ATAGs, and I remember many times where you'd pull till the lights would start to dim, and you're like, oh God, I need to ease up here. Okay. But ATAGs has improved that, obviously, but still, it's definitely a jet you got to respect, because it'll hurt you if you don't. It's not quite as capable as far as how much stuff it can carry like other jets, but it's still a workhorse in the CAS platform. They used it a lot in the last 20 years and all the wars we've been in, including even before that, 30 years prior. But it's really cool, and I'm proud to have been a part of flying that jet. If there were one jet I could ever go fly again, I think I'd weep to be able to go, see an F-16 again and get in it and fly from the front seat. Could make that distinction, because I don't want to be sandbag. Which here in a second, we're going to show the fam flight from Miss America, which just for the nostalgia, not to make fun of Miss America, because I think what she's done is awesome, but just to show kind of the what goes behind the scenes. But I don't know, guys, what do you got? I'm getting a little weepy here because, man, I missed that.
No,
jet.
man, it's a cool jet. I mean, when I was a kid, I make fun of Iron Eagle, but dude, if in the 80s, if any movie came out with fighter jets, I was watching it. Right. So, I mean, I think all 4th gen airplanes look awesome. They came from a time when they were designed like right after the Vietnam War, when designers like, we need airplanes that, can maneuver and have lots of power. And it just, stealth wasn't a thing. I think stealth looks kind of, I don't really particularly care for it, but I think I'm vain. It's a great looking airplane, and it's an airplane I would have loved to have flown, but didn't get a chance to. So I'm jealous in that regard.
Yeah. Now was it Fallon? The Fallon guys are flying.
Yeah.
Viper.
I mean, I haven't flown them for a while, man. I don't know.
Fallon hasn't.
F-16.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. The reserves, the Navy Reserve Fallon jets. I think they're old Dutch
Red
jets
Air.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, just incredible aircraft. Very fortunate to have flown it. And Wombat, you got anything for
I
the
have
Viper?
questions. Does it have auto throttles?
No.
Does it have 2 motors?
No.
Does
The EPU?
I was gonna say
the EPU. Kinda.
why?
Hydrogen.
When everybody talks about the Viper, they talk about multi-role, which is
Correct.
the Air Force way of saying multi-mission. Am I right?
It's multiple roles.
Yes. So why is it not an F/A-16?
Does
Sounds
the Air
like it's
Force
trying to
have
be
any
something it's not.
FA jets?
Yeah, that's a Navy thing, man. Apparently.
Well, I'm just
The
saying.
Navy.
I mean,
Well,
so-
why does the Navy call it Strike Fighter Strike Fatron 20? Like, why is it Strike Fatron?
That's
all these words?
heritage back.
Well, but they tried that with the.
Why
Raptor.
does everybody
Remember?
in the Air Force wear a flight suit and pretend like they're a pilot?
No.
I mean, if we're going to throw stones back,
What
at
is
No.
happening to you, Wombat? What are you
No.
doing?
Like when they gave the Raptor its first air to ground capability, they changed the name temporarily to FA-22.
Oh, yeah, it was FA-22
Remember that?
for a
Yeah.
little
Is
bit. Yeah.
F/A, and then they're like, "This is
Yeah.
dumb," and they dropped it, even though the Raptor retains some limited air to ground.
well, I'm just
So
saying, like, it just seems like it's not.
they just don't do that.
Yeah. Well,
I know we don't
mean,
do that.
that
Do you have any
doesn't
other
fix the
questions?
single engine and
They do
no,
tack initial, we do carrier brake.
A4 was a single engine aircraft in the Navy.
Yeah, and we learned from it
A7?
until the F-35.
A7.
Yeah, well, I mean, the
didn't fly
F-16 was
the
the
A4 or the A7 ever. It was
but
before my time.
the F-16 was the cheap version. I'm sorry, was the
said
economical
it.
alternative to the
Cheap.
Eagle.
Yeah, it's 100% a cheap
Yeah.
version aircraft.
Just
That
like
doesn't
the
make it
Hornet.
any less or more cool. It's just
Like the
cheap
Hornet
aircraft.
was the cheap version, the cheap alternative to the Tomcat. I mean,
Yeah,
The
100%.
Viper beat the Hornet, just so you guys are aware.
totally
The
different airplane, bro.
YF-17.
Totally
Yeah,
different airplane.
Yeah,
16.
that's not even.
Totally different airplane.
We got
River.
the winner. You got the loser. Anyway, moving on. That was this weekend, so it's not happening today. But did you know today is the 40th anniversary of Airwolf?
Really?
Really?
I did not know
According to
that.
this person.
Dude, that's even more important than the Viper, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.